Now on the CTV News at 5, the case of a 12-year-old boy charged with the attempted murder of his 7-year-old brother is back before the courts. Plus, a new movement to keep Alberta in the Canada Pension Plan. And the Salvation Army's annual Kettle campaign kicks off.
Telling your stories. CTV News Lethbridge with Jackie Scantlebury.
Good afternoon. Thank you for being here. A new report is raising alarm over growing waitlist deaths in Canada and concerns that here in Alberta, that data isn't even being tracked. The report by secondstreet.org shows hospital waitlist deaths rose 3% across Canada year over year. In that time, more than 23,000 patients died while waiting for surgeries or diagnostic procedures. The findings are based on Freedom of Information requests. Some health groups only provided partial data, and Alberta didn't provide any data, so the true total is likely higher. Alberta Health said it stopped tracking waitlist deaths in 2021.
Governments need to be a lot more accountable right across the country when it comes to this issue, tracking the data, analyzing it, disclosing it. Too often we hear about patients dying on waiting lists, not because governments come forward and let the public know, but because the patients, their families speak out.
Some people died while waiting for potentially life-saving care, including heart surgeries and cancer treatments. Most were patients waiting for things such as a hip and knee surgery. But the report's author says those waits can lead to sedentary lives, increasing the risk of falls or heart attacks. Meanwhile, buried inside Tuesday's provincial omnibus legislation, Bill 12, were key changes to the program that supports the province's severely disabled. The Alberta Income for the Severely Handicapped program, or AISH, provides assistance for about 79,000 people. The new legislation would see all of them move to a new program called the Alberta Disability Assistance Program, or ADAP. It will have lower benefits and is designed for people with a disability that impedes their employment. Those who can't work will need to reapply for AISH. Disability advocates accuse the province of trying to cut its budget by targeting marginalized communities.
This entire wholesale move to what is essentially a workfare program is going to negatively impact Albertans and cause a rise in houselessness and other very, very serious impacts.
If passed, people on AISH will be moved to the next program next year. Their benefits will remain at current levels for up to 2 years. Healthcare workers have voted in favor of a new collective agreement with Alberta Health Services. Nearly 67% of members of the Health Sciences Association of Alberta voted to ratify the new agreement. The union represents a number of professions, including paramedics, pharmacists, and diagnostic imaging technologists. The new deal includes a 12% pay increase over 4 years and a workload appeal process that follows 20 months of bargaining. Meanwhile, AUPE members start voting today on a tentative deal reached this past weekend, narrowly averting a strike. The deal was signed with just a minute to go before job action was to begin. The AUPE says they agreed to a 12% wage increase over 4 years, which amounts to more than market adjustments and retro pay. The ratification vote runs today until Friday. The Canadian Union of Public Employees is launching a campaign to keep Alberta in the Canada Pension Plan. CUPE has set up a website called don'ttouchcpp.ca. It's also paying for an advertising campaign. CUPE's Alberta leader says Alberta leaving the CPP would lead to smaller pensions, higher costs, and increased risk. The union says Premier Daniel Smith is not listening to Albertans. Polls indicate most Albertans would like to remain in the Canada Pension Plan. Now, the province has tabled legislation to prevent lawsuits against Amico, claiming it will protect Alberta taxpayers. The Crown Corporation manages public pension plans and in 2020 recorded about $2 billion in investment losses. Several pension plans have been trying to recover, but $1 billion through arbitration is possible. Alberta's finance minister says AMCO has no cash set aside to cover potential liabilities, and the government won't put that cost onto taxpayers. Nate Horner says following management overhauls, AMCO's investment concerns have been remedied. Danielle Savoni is here for our first look at the forecast. And Danielle, not bad out there today, but more snow is on the way.
Yeah, and for many communities, we're looking at over 15 centimeters of snow. This will be mainly concentrated in the far south. We'll talk more about this system in just a little bit, but right now we're sitting at -4. That's just the base temperature. The clouds are increasing, and that's ahead of the system that's on the way. Now let's talk wind chill. It feels more like -6 in Lethbridge, -11 in Medicine Hat, -3 in Claresholm, and Pincher Creek still just above that freezing mark and not dealing with wind chill just yet. All right, there's a look at the system that's on the way. This one is packed with moisture, and it's going to move in from the south. So this will be a weather maker for us starting tomorrow. We'll talk more about that coming up.
All right, thanks, Danielle. A 12-year-old boy charged with the attempted murder of his 7-year-old brother in Lethbridge will remain in custody for at least another 2 weeks. The accused, who can't be identified under the Youth Criminal Justice Act, has been in custody since his arrest in August. He's also charged with aggravated assault. Police have said their father arrived home to find the younger boy seriously injured. They said the older boy told officers an unknown man came into the home, stabbed his younger brother, and then ran away. The case returns to court in 2 weeks. A Lethbridge man charged with manslaughter following the death of a senior in September will remain in custody for another 3 weeks. Police say on September 10th, a 34-year-old man allegedly stole a senior's bike outside a business along the 1200 block of 2A Avenue North in Lethbridge. The senior confronted the man, who then allegedly punched him in the face, causing the senior to fall backward and hit his head on the ground. The 80-year-old man later died in hospital. The matter of Cameron Hamilton was set over to December the 16th as his defense lawyer hopes to resolve the charges of uttering threats and theft under $5,000 with an early case resolution. Holiday shopping season is in full swing, and a new RBC poll warns Canadians may be more confident than careful when it comes to spotting scams. CTV's Dave Charbonneau reports.
It's invasive and it's annoying.
Whether by phone, text, or email, scams have become part of everyday life for Michelle Valancourt.
Yeah, I get about three per day now. I get 3 on emails and on texts and phone calls. I get 1 every day.
A new RBC fraud awareness poll shows 86% of Canadians think they can spot a scam, but 25% have still fallen for one. And this holiday season could be even worse as AI technology leaps into social media and internet feeds.
I'm a little worried what's coming with this AI. I'm getting really worried about that, but I'll be really careful.
63% of those polled are concerned about being scammed online, and many victims are ashamed to reach out to family or police.
10% of people have been a victim of a fraud or a scam, and they never told anybody, not even their friends or family. So there's that shame element to it, which is unfortunate because as an industry, we rely on that reporting to know what is the latest scam that we're dealing with.
Others say they try to avoid scams by deleting anything that looks suspicious.
I don't click on those messages, I delete those, and those emails just delete right away too, if I don't think it's real.
I kind of just ignore it at this point. I think I'm pretty aware of that stuff, so I can see how my grandparents would definitely get caught by that.
Experts warn that shoppers need to focus, to stop and reflect on what they click on online, especially during the holidays. But for many seniors who might be less familiar with technology, they are usually the main target of scammers.
You pick on, seniors who are prone to all this kind of stuff and don't pay a lot of attention to it. I just think it's terrible.
And now that avoiding scams is almost a daily routine for many, some simple advice.
If you initiate something, then it's probably okay. If you've got something that is asking you to do something, it's probably not. It's probably a scam.
Dave Charbonneau, CTV News.
Well, the holiday shopping season is already in full swing. It's the most important time of year for local businesses who often rely on a strong December. Quinn Keenan has that story.
The streets downtown are filled with Christmas decorations. Inside the stores, most businesses have their Christmas displays up. It signals the most profitable time of the year for retail.
It's been quite solid already. Last Thursday night, they lit up the tree in Festival Square, and it was amazing. There was so many people downtown. Our store was packed.
The Christmas shopping season can make or break any retail business. A strong Christmas can make up for the often slower summer months.
This is our main season. October, November, December are the biggest months. November and December are the biggest months of the year. December by far. This is like in retail, this is really our harvest season.
This Christmas should cause fewer headaches for retailers. Last December, shipping was upended by the Canada Post strike. But with the deal now in place, businesses will have a much easier time getting goods in and out.
Yeah, it's a little better for sure. We do ship things across the North America really, and so it does affect us. But right now things are shipping fairly good, and that's really not an issue for us.
The holiday shopping season could be a big boost for the downtown as a whole. More shoppers means more people stopping at downtown restaurants and services. The downtown BRZ expects all businesses will see a big boost this time of year.
Super important. We start planning this really early in the season, so our Christmas starts in like September. But it's so important to place as much emphasis on the downtown as we possibly can during this Christmas season.
Quinn Keenan, CTV News, Lethbridge.
The Salvation Army Lethbridge kicked off its annual kettle campaign today. The Salvation Army is hoping to raise $220,000 in Lethbridge alone. Kettles will be set up all over the city until December 23rd. Money raised from the campaign goes directly back to helping those in need throughout the coming year. The Salvation Army is still looking for volunteers to help with the kettle campaign. Students at LCI are getting to raise the curtain on their fall production Imaginary and new musical Young at Part.
With our imagination, the garden doesn't have to be so small.
The show is about imaginary friends who take the audience through the wonders of childhood, the power of imagination, and what it means to grow up. The show is designed for all ages. About 90 students have helped bring the musical to life.
We couldn't have done it this year without the help of so many of our student creatives. We had assistant director, assistant choreographer, and assistant vocal director who are all students, and they did a lion's share of the work for us this year.
Yeah. They absolutely did. Yeah, it's been a privilege to learn so much myself as a new teacher and work with student creatives that are at such a high level of skill, understanding, like they're such leaders.
The show runs from December the 1st through to the 5th at LCI. Following another year of interesting weather conditions and new developments for the irrigation sector, Lethbridge Polytechnic has announced it will be hosting the 2026 Irrigated Crop Production Update in January. The one-day session will feature industry experts, producers, and government representatives discussing all things irrigation. The conference will include several presentations on the International Joint Commission, Milk River Study, an annual update from the United Irrigation District, and information about snowpack conditions, as well as forecast water supply for 2026. The conference will take place January 22nd at the Lethbridge Trade and Convention Center. Registration for the event is now open. Well, overnight lows are about to get a bit chilly. Danielle is back with a 5-day forecast right after this break. We also look at a new report on brain development.
Here's your Skywatch weather camera facing southwest. These are the clouds ahead of a system that's on the way, and this is quite a system for us. It's going to be a big weather maker, lots of snowfall on the way, a lot of people looking forward to the snow, and of course, not many people looking forward to driving in the snow, so you have to plan accordingly. I'll give you the timeline on everything here in just a moment. -2 was the high so far in Calgary today, -7 in Regina. That colder air again for today, just like yesterday, has filtered in through the prairies and it's stuck around. But other communities are quite a lot warmer. Victoria, Vancouver got to 8 today, 11 in Toronto, and 11 in Halifax today. We have wind chill that we're dealing with in many communities because we've dipped below freezing and the winds have picked up a little bit. Claresholm, the winds are calm at the moment, so it's just -2. But Lethbridge, it's a little bit breezy, feels closer to -6 with that wind chill. Drumheller is just like the base temperature, and it feels more like -13 in Medicine Hat. All right, here's an early look at this system that's going to make its way from the States and push on in. So anywhere in the far south is going to see more of the system, especially the southwest corner, and then it'll start to lighten up as it moves up to the north. So if you are headed north, you won't have to contend with as much. But if you are staying in the far south, well, here you go. So I'm going to give you your timeline on when you can expect it. Pincher Creek, Crow's Nest Pass area. This is a look at Thursday afternoons, tomorrow afternoon. This will then move into Lethbridge, closer to those supper hours and early evening hours. And then it will start to track off to the east. It likely won't make it into the Medicine Hat area and areas south of Medicine Hat until early Friday, or at least those overnight hours into Friday morning. And we're looking at it intensifying as it moves in. So it will move in, likely start off as some flurries, and then intensify. So we're looking at some decent totals from this. This is a moisture pack system. And I just want to let you know that this model is showing the higher expectation of amounts. We may not see quite as much, but there is the possibility that we could get up to 20 centimeters in Pincher Creek. The timeline on this is really Thursday through Friday, when you're looking at the entire system and the entire time it resides in the far south. 20 centimeters is possible in Lethbridge, 25 in Milk River, 15 in Tabor, and 7 in Medicine Hat. So you can see the far south certainly looking at a lot more with regards to snow totals than areas further to the north. Okay, -6 overnight in the East Kootenay area. The snow kicks in tomorrow, 2 to 4 centimeters expected tomorrow alone. -3 is the daytime high tomorrow. Crow's Nest Pass -9 overnight. A little bit on the windy side. That should calm down pretty quickly. It will be a little breezy tomorrow. So this isn't just snow we're dealing with. We're also dealing with the blowing snow. 10 to 20 centimeters possible really Thursday through early Friday with this in the Crow's Nest Pass area. -4 is a daytime high for tomorrow. Fog patches in Medicine Hat tonight, and then we're looking at this system arriving later in Medicine Hat once again. So we likely won't see the snowfall until the evening tomorrow, and that's when we'll start with 2 centimeters and then of course pick up from there. -5 is a daytime high for tomorrow. 10 to 15 centimeters possible in Lethbridge throughout the day and evening tomorrow. -6 is the high, and then another 3 to 5 centimeters possible Friday morning as it starts to clear out. -9 is the high on Friday, minus double digits, even colder to kick off the weekend on Saturday.
A new study is shedding light on the human brain and how it matures as we age. And it turns out the adolescent period may be more important than we thought. ABC's Lionel Moyes explains.
This morning, a new study giving a closer look into how our brains develop as we age.
Welcome to the Eras Tour!
While this was not sponsored by the Swifties, researchers found the brain has 5 eras that are split by 4 turning points where the wiring and organization of our brain shifts. It happens at these ages: 9, 32, 66, and 83.
We're sort of taking a Taylor Swift approach to brain development. The brain is constantly remodeling itself, improving itself, fine-tuning its connections.
From when we're born to when we're 9, scientists say we're in the childhood phase where gray and white matter grow rapidly. Next, the adolescence phase that lasts until about 32, which is longer than researchers previously thought. That's when communication networks are refined, leading to better cognitive performance. Scientists stress during this phase, it doesn't mean people in their 20s act like teens, but it is a major period of change.
The brain is undergoing a general pattern of reorganization and development. But certainly adolescence, as it pertains to our biology and our bodies and our psychological development, remains the same. This also happens to be the years where a lot of mental health problems start to declare themselves. So I think that gives us a new sort of direction in terms of the research on this.
Adulthood is from our early 30s to 60s, and scientists say this is the biggest shift when the brain starts to stabilize with a possible plateau in intelligence and personality. Then at age 66, we start the early aging phase, followed at 83 with the late aging phase, both showing a decrease in brain connectivity. Scientists say this study, which looked at brain scans of thousands of people, could help research more ways to keep our minds healthy. Doctors say we already know some ways to improve brain health, including exercising, eating healthy, sleeping, managing stress, and maintaining healthy relationships. Lionel Moyes, ABC News, New York.
Still ahead on the CTV News at 5. The puck drops on the CHL prospect game tonight in Lethbridge. The CHL USA Prospects Challenge is underway. The teams met in Calgary last night ahead of tonight's game in Lethbridge. Calgary hosted the CHL USA Prospect Challenge last night at the Saddle Dome. First introduced last year, the two-game series spotlight the top draft talent from the 2026 NHL Draft. The U.S. Prospects won 4-2. Team CHL looks to bounce back tonight with more experience now as a group.
You know, the advantage the U.S. team will have for sure is that they've had a lot more structure and system stuff than us. For us, it's going to be, we're going to have to learn a little bit out of video on that, and you know, the quicker we can learn that, the better we're going to be.
Game 6 is tonight at the Visit Lethbridge, or game rather is at 6 tonight at the Lethbridge, visitlethbridge.com arena. Limited amounts of tickets are still available. The epic journey for the Olympic Flames started today, marking 72 days to go until the 2026 Winter Games begin. The torch lighting was held this morning in Greece. However, bad weather forced the event to be held indoors. Around 10,000 torch bearers will participate. The 63-day Italian relay will stretch across 12,000 kilometers, passing through 60 cities and crossing all 110 provinces. Baseball fans are being given the chance to own a piece of World Series history courtesy of a Toronto Blue Jay. The ball Addison Barger hit for a grand slam in Game 1 of the World Series is going up for auction. The homer was the first pinch hit grand slam in World Series history. The person who caught the ball is putting it up for sale. Still ahead on the CTV News at 5, more and more seniors are playing video games. We find out why when we return. Now, something often linked with a younger generation is resonating with seniors and improving their brain health. NBC's Savannah Sellers reports.
He's in the heli. When it comes to video games, oh my God! Older Americans are showing they can hold their own with the kids. I got him. 60-year-old Michelle Statham is a grandmother of 2 and also happens to have more than 3 million followers across platforms who tune in each day to watch her play the military combat game Call of Duty. I see you. Online, she's Tactical Grandma.
What is it that you love about video games?
I'm a competitive person. I grew up playing competitive soccer. So to me, when I play games like Call of Duty, I still get that competitive feel that I can't do physically anymore.
She's not alone. Nearly half of all baby boomers are getting in on the action, with mental stimulation as the top reason this generation says they've taken up the activity. Doctors say gaming for older Americans has benefits, allowing them to use the brain, stay engaged, and maintain cognition.
It helps your brain kind of keep firing those things that maybe you did when you worked. And if you're retired now, you may not be using those. And just if you play with people online, it's a fun way to connect with people as well.
Research shows puzzles, skill and chance, and arcade video games are the most popular with older players.
Do you feel that more and more older Americans are gaming?
I know that they are. And there's a lot of older females now that say that they started playing Call of Duty because they saw me play.
And they're doing it their way.
So I'll say, bless your heart. You know, you tried so hard. You just got beat by a grandma. Bless your heart.
Savannah Sellers, NBC News.
Thank you for sharing this time with us. Now here's the early edition of the CTV National News.